We've just bought a brand new BMW 5 Series and I'm struggling to think how it's any better than the old one. This car's literally just come into the dealership. It's even still got the auction writing on the engine bay. This is a 520i, so we've got the B48 inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, which means we've got 208 horsepower and 330 newton meters of torque. Now, it's a bit of a strange engine, this, because it's actually got a 48 volt mild hybrid system. Now, you could get this in the previous 520i, but this is updated, so it's actually now got 18 horsepower. So the engine, the internal combustion engine alone, provides 190 of your horsepower, and the e-motor provides a further 18 horsepower, so a little bit more powerful than the previous car, which had an 11 horsepower electric motor. Now, we are going to start around town. We're going to test the MPG of this thing, test the 0 to 60, the 30 to 70 time, see how fun it is to drive, of course. And we're also going to test the sound system and how quiet this car is inside. Is it really any quieter than its predecessor? Now, just going over bumps around town, the new 5 Series, does it feel any better than the old one? I can't tell. It feels very similar to me. I'm sure it's 5% better or 6% better, but it's one of those things you just can't tell. And the average driver is never going to know. Even driving the cars back to back, they feel so similar these days. Parking this thing, it's quite a big car. So yeah, it's bigger than the old one. Amazing that, isn't it? And it feels big as well. The older car, BMWs usually have this feeling, right, where they kind of wrap themselves around you quite a lot. This doesn't necessarily have that anymore. It doesn't really wrap around you as much as the old car did, and I think that's because it's just such a sparse vehicle, and it's actually quite hard to place on the road. So like parking it, as you can see, I've completely cocked this up, even though I've got a reverse camera and all-round parking sensors. I don't know what it is, it's just not as easy as the old car. Once you're in a space as well, it's like you're quite close to the line at the end of the day, so getting to the first notch on the door in cities is actually a bit of a task sometimes. And the door closing sound sounds like this. Solid, but not amazing. Not hugely fantastic. Let's just see what this car's like out of junction. So obviously rear wheel drive, start stop, but it's 48 volts, so the engine is basically always ready to go. It's not like a traditional start stop system where you're kind of waiting for the engine to actually turn on. It's like it's on, but it's 0 revs, is the way I would describe it. So just planting my foot, coming out of a junction, engine's ready to go, and it delivers strong performance. It really does. Now, let's talk about the interior, because there's two things I like, but there's quite a lot of things that I'm not so keen on. So, the steering wheel, it's still too thick. I want a thinner wheel because then I just get more feel from it. And also, this bit of the steering wheel, that could be out of like a Toyota Yaris. It looks really, really cheap. The buttons are all just kind of too far apart. It's like you've got an iPhone with the like old person setting on it for text, where it's just huge font. And it just looks lazy to me. Like they could have done more with this quite easily. And then the scroll wheel, right? So iDrive 8.5, this is the iDrive that's in this car, I find a little bit too complex. So in the older car, it was all like very intuitive, very easy to find things. And in this, you think, okay, home button would take me to like a home page with my most common like things that I select on it. And it just stays on the navigation page. You actually have to swipe to see anything, which is kind of annoying. So I'm like, okay, let's click this. This takes me to like what I would regard as an actual home page. But the problem is, it's then just cluttered with a load of things that I don't necessarily want. So like messages. Why is this on my home page? This should be on like an all applications page. Now I know it says all apps here, but I want this to be my home page, but just have like the most common things that I actually use on a daily basis on it. Since recording that video, I have realised that you can actually set it so it comes up with the vehicle system settings first. But why isn't that the default? Anyway, back to the video. And then the scroll wheel. In this, it moves still, but it's not as much as the old one. It doesn't have a really nice chunky feel to it. It's more haptic feedback. And to be honest, it feels really, really, really awful to use compared to the older car. It's just unpleasant. It's like you press it and it gives you feedback at the wrong time. It just doesn't feel nice. One thing I do like though, or two things that I like. So one is the ambient lighting. Yes, I do think that looks nice. It looks very artsy and very cool, especially at night, obviously. And the other thing I like, obviously, any car made after 2024, regulations changed where they have to notify you if you're speeding constantly. And if you're a BMW driver like I am, you want to turn that crap off immediately. And thankfully, in a BMW, in newer BMWs, you just hold down the set button and it turns it off straight away for you, as you can see by the notification on the dash. Now, as I said today, we are going to test the MPG, and we're going to test that on the motorway, obviously, and a bit around town, so I'm going to reset it now. But before we see the final result of that, let's do a 30 to 70 sprint and see what this car can muster. 30 to 70 then, we did a time of just 6.39 seconds, which is pretty quick, all things considered. To put that into perspective, the lighter and smaller 2019 BMW 320i, yes, it's got a little bit less power, but that did a time of 6.93 seconds, so half a second slower. So it's safe to say the previous generation 5 Series, especially the 520i, would have been substantially slower than the new one. Then in terms of the sound system test, this has obviously got the upgraded Harman Kardon system over the regular system that you get in a BMW, and it's fine, it's good, it's pretty much like every other Harman Kardon sound system that's been in every other BMW. We did 113.9 decibels in this thing, so that's 4 decibels more than the worst car we've had, which was a Volkswagen Tiguan, but 6 decibels less than the best system we've tested so far, which was a Audi Q5 with the Bang & Olufsen sound system. So pretty good, but not the best. Okay then, motorway and fuel economy. So the combined WLTP figure for this car is 44 miles per gallon, and I don't know if we're going to do that. The B48, great engine, but it never seems to do its quoted figures. Anyway, coming onto the motorway, one feature you have in this newer car is this boost mode, which basically just puts you in the most aggressive setting, and you get 10 seconds of it, and yeah, it'll get you up to 70 very, very quickly. And the thing is, right, back in the day, a car that would do 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds, which is what this does, we are going to test that later, so stay tuned if you want to see that, was regarded as a fast car. Like, that was hot hatch quick. So when you push this boost button and you get all the power for 10 seconds, it's genuinely quite quick. Now, we do have the Hans Zimmer iconic sounds in this car as well, which yeah, they're all right. They're not too intrusive. I don't mind them that much. In sports mode, they are a bit much, but just in regular comfort, they're fine. Then once we're on the motorway, you get the cruise control set to 70 miles an hour, and it's fine. It's comfortable, it's quiet as far as I can tell. We're going to see just how quiet it is with a proper decibel reader in a second. And it just feels like the old car. It really doesn't feel any different. The one thing I can pick up, like, slightly, is that the steering feels a little bit sharper, but is that worth selling your old one for? No, obviously it's not. You know, there's got to be something in this car that really defines it when compared with the old one. And another complaint that I have, actually, so these little air vent controls that you've got down here, great that they're physical, but because I can't actually see where the vents are, like, physically pointing like I could in the old car, it's hard to tell where the airflow is coming from. So I kind of changed the direction, and I'm kind of having to, like, feel with my hand to see where the air is actually going. And then having these, like, touch sensitive open and close things, it's just like, just have physical controls. They just feel nicer to use, BMW. They really do. Anyway, let's test the efficiency of this thing. Press my modes. Like, why wasn't that a physical switch? Like, what is all this? Expressive, relax, digital art. Why do we need that? Just have a rocker switch. Just have a button that says Eco Comfort Sport and a traction control button. Like, ugh, it's just so annoying. Anyway, enough ranting. Efficient. So changes the dash a little bit. Basically tells you if you're driving like a Wally or not. Anyway, let's see what decibel figure this car does and what MPG figure this car does. Okay, so finally some good news about the new 5 Series. We did better than its claimed figure in terms of MPG, so we've done just under 47 miles per gallon. Nice clear run today. Oh, there we go, 47 MPG. Sat at 70 miles an hour. That is a good figure. It's better than the previous car would have done. The previous car, around about 40, 38 to 40, so it's definitely more efficient. And I think that is because this has only got a 0.24 CD coefficient of drag rating, which is very low, very, very low, very smooth car. But there's better news, because in terms of decibel level, we did just over 69 dB. And if you don't know, not only is that quieter than the previous generation car, which does just over 70, that is one of the quietest cars we've had on this test. Genuinely one of the quietest. I can't believe how just silent, eerily quiet this car is on the motorway. You do get a tiny bit of humming from the tyres, but one thing I do notice is that you get almost no noise at all from the engine. Because I can't see a rev counter as well in efficiency mode, you just get no noise from the motor, and that's really nice. Feels very luxurious, almost electric, really. Anyway, now let's get ourselves into sports mode with my modes, and then we have to go. See, I can't do this whilst driving. I have to focus on driving first. Why can this not just be a rocker switch? It would be so much easier. But yeah, we get a rev counter. I can change this into a G meter. Cool. You know, it's interesting. It's another number to look at, basically. But I just want to turn traction control off, right? So in the previous car, you just press the button, right? So no, in this you go back to my modes, you go to sport again, so you have to click on it. No, then you go to settings. Yeah, driving dynamics, sports plus. Yeah, that's what we want. So we want traction off, but ESC still on. Why I have to do that through a bloody touchscreen menu? It's just like, oh, why BMW? So irritating. Anyway, in terms of dynamics, we get the gearbox into S as well. So faster shifts from this ZF8 speed, and it holds onto gears for longer, which is nice. Steering it's heavier in sports mode. The car feels a little dartier than the previous one did. The suspension actually feels a little bit stiffer. This car is slightly heavier at 1.7 tons compared to 1.6. And yeah, you get some shift lights as well. So if I slow down again, go into second gear. But you know what? The gearbox doesn't feel as sharp. It doesn't give you that thud in the back that you used to get. It's just trying to change gear as smoothly as possible, which, you know what, 99% of the time you kind of want. But when I'm in sports mode, I do want it to feel sporty. The other thing this car does is that it has adaptive bolsters that, you know, you're only used to getting things like a Mercedes S-Class and a 7 Series, where it actually hugs you a little bit tighter, and it does it quite quickly, so you feel it really change. And it holds you in your seat well. The seats are good, nice and comfortable. But can I have any real fun in this thing? Like, see what I mean? It just, the previous car, it would kick out at the back. You'd have to kind of fight the steering a bit. This just kind of, it's fine. Like, it feels rear wheel drive, but it's not giving me the same amount of excitement that I would get from the previous car. And then in terms of brakes obviously fantastic. Really nice feel to them, but again, same as the previous car. I feel like I've said previous car about 3 billion times in this review. But it's just, it doesn't feel any better. It feels a bit heavier. The steering is a bit sharper, but it's perceived sharpness because it's just a slightly faster rack. It's just not giving me BMW vibes. It's really not. Maybe I have to go a lot quicker, but then I can't do that on a public road. So what's the point? Like round there, it's just doesn't feel like a BMW anymore. This could literally be anything that I'm driving. It's missing part of its DNA. Or maybe if I put the drivetrain in Sports Plus and DSC all the way off, it might let me have some fun. Let's give it one more go. No fun to be had whatsoever. It's got enough power to do it. It's definitely holding me back slightly. So a little bit disappointing, unfortunately, on the faster stuff. Hopefully it gets better when we're on a smaller B road and we can really utilise all that 208 horsepower. Before we do that, let's see what this car does 0 to 60. Claim time is 7.4, 7.5 seconds, but some people say it will do it in 7.2, but let's find out. Let's see what it really does. Nice dry day today, good temperature, so should do a good figure. 0 to 60 then, not only did we absolutely smash the claimed time of 7.4 to 7.5 seconds, we did a time of 6.89 seconds. That is hot hatch quick, genuinely a fast car, and not far off of a BMW 330e, a much more powerful car. And it was actually quicker than a BMW 330i, a car with more power, but at the end of the day, it was a wet run on the 330i, so the 520i can't take too much credit for that. Still, very fast car. Okay then, B-road driving. Let's see what we can do here. Again, the car just feels quite wide, and it's darty and controls its weight well, but again, it's not giving me that fizz that I want. I'm missing a bit of drama, do you know what I mean? It's almost too capable. Anyway, can we hit 60 before the corner? Let's go. So, I mean, the gear changes are just not that pleasant. 58 miles an hour. It's not bad. One thing I do like is that it's got quite a lot of low down torque. Obviously, that electric motor gives you a nice big boost when you low down in the rev band, so it doesn't really matter what gear you're in, you're still getting decent performance throughout the entirety of the rev band. It's very composed, very comfortable, but it doesn't have that dual personality. It's just lacking a little bit of oomph, a bit of pizzazz, and a bit of zest. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to say it. I think BMW have cut some corners here. They've dressed the car up like nicely, so you got ambient lighting, you know, you got some M colours here, but it hasn't been thought about enough. It's refined, it's a fantastic riding, comfortable car, but there's no reason why I would buy this over the previous generation. The previous generation, it felt nicer inside, the quality was just, there was more going on for the eye to see. This is a little bit sparse. This could be a Hyundai inside. You know, if I remove the badge and you look at a Hyundai Ioniq 5 inside, it's not that much different from this. And not to say the Hyundai is a bad car, but the BMW should stand out amongst the crowd. It should be different. It should feel really special when you get in it, and it just doesn't have that. And having all this crap, fundamentally, like it's something that I would use once and go like, ooh, new modes, Hans Zimmer sounds. After I've done it once, I don't want to do it again. It's just annoying. I just want a button. And like things like this, like your little flap to put you in sports mode. It doesn't have, you know, the older car you could thwack it into manual, and it feels like an event when you're driving it quickly. This, when you're driving it fast, it feels like, you know, it could be front wheel drive, to be honest. You don't really get much of a rear wheel drive feeling from it. Yeah, if I was doing a lot of motorway miles, like great, it's fine, but so is the previous car. There's no reason to upgrade. If anything, there's zero reason, like, don't upgrade. Yeah, shame. I had really high hopes for this, but they have just missed the mark with it. Anyway, now I'm going to hop back into my old BMW. And that says everything you need to know. Anyway, as always, I hope you enjoy content like this. If you did, give us a like, and why not subscribe, as not only can you see more content like this, you can see everything we have for sale, which does include this 5 Series. You know, you might think I'm wrong on all accounts, so you might want to have a look at it. Link will be in the description below for this car, as well as our generic website as well, just in case you want to buy an older 5 Series. Newsflash, please do it. And yeah, my name has been Tom, as it always will be, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.